So now that we understand the upstroke and downstroke, let's move on to kind of warming up your hand, okay? So we're going to move on to learning the rest of the alphabet, but first, I just want us to warm up. So this is actually something that my third grade teacher had us do before we would do our penmanship class or our little lessons, and she would just have us kind of warm up our fingers. This is a really good tip that I have reminded myself to do before I work on a project for somebody. Sometimes if I just jump right into it, my strokes are really shaky and it's just not as smooth as I want. And so I like to kind of just get myself warmed up. Sometimes I'll just write a few different letters, make sure I'm kind of getting the right strokes. So the first thing that we're going to do is I just want you to bring the pen up and down, okay? So we're just kind of making these up and down patterns. And just do that a few times. There's not a lot of movement going on in my wrist when I do this. It really is kind of just a fine motor skill using my hand, using my fingers. And you can even vary how you're holding the pen. You'll notice that I tend to hold my pen kind of at a 45-degree angle. Now, I don't know if it is much different for people who are right-handed, but for my left-handed self, sorry, I'm just adjusting the camera. For my left-handed self, I don't really have, some lefties kind of have a hook, some people right sideways, it really just depends. I like to hold my pen at kind of a 45-degree angle, okay? I'm not really right on top of the paper, I'm kind of more onto the side of the pen. So I'm just going to keep going. Just get myself warmed up. Okay. Now after we've done that a few times, it looks like a mess. I know it's not really supposed to look good. Now we're going to do circles, okay? So obviously a lot of letters that we write have kind of a circular shape to them, whether you're writing a C or an A or an O. So let's just do some circles. Kind of ends up looking like a slinky. Again, let me know if you have any questions about anything. You can just comment right below. So yeah, we used to actually have to do these in my penmanship class, and we turn in our paper with our warm-up on there. Alrighty. So I'm going to get a new piece of paper. Oh, it totally bled through. I'm actually going to keep this over here. I'm going to just keep this visible so that you can see some of the arrows that are indicating downslope and upslope in case if you get a little lost, okay? Everyone doing just fine so far? Let me just rearrange 1 second. Okay. Just scoot that down. Scoot this up. Alrighty. There we go. Kind of a lot going on. So now we're going to go through the alphabet, okay? Our hands kind of warmed up. We've gotten kind of the idea of the upstrokes and downstrokes. And so now we're going to go through the alphabet. Again, a really big thing to keep in mind is that you can vary how you write these letters. You don't need to write them just like me if you have a different style or you want to just try out different styles. If after this you want to, just look up different alphabets on Pinterest or on Google, different cursive alphabets to kind of see different people's styles. There's a lot out there. So we're going to first start with a few simple ones. There we go. Then you can see the L, see the upstroke and downstroke. So we're going to start with the letter C, okay? So it's pretty simple, pretty just, small letter. And all of this is really going to be done, I guess, in lowercase, but many cursive letters are the same in uppercase as well, but we're going to focus on lowercase. So we have our normal C, okay? Now again, I'm going to shade on my downstroke. So sometimes if you forget, you can kind of just go above your letter and be like, oh, I brought the pen down right here, okay? So I've outlined it, and now I'm going to shade. And there I've got my C. So let's write a few of those. Do about 5 or 6 of them, okay? You can even vary how thick you shade, and even on the upstrokes you can go over them again if you want to make those thicker. So I'll show you an example. I'm just going right over and then making the inside real thick on the downstroke and coming back up. Again, just give me a nice thumbs up if you're following along. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask. I'm going to make this one a little thinner. So I do have to give a shout out to one of my fellow hand lettering friends, Christine Anderson. She runs a hand lettering shop with a lot of beautiful pieces. And her shop is called Olea Lettering, O-L-E-A. It stands for peace, I believe, in maybe Greek or Hebrew. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. And so she has taught some hand lettering classes in person, and she suggested that I group the alphabet letters into different sections of similar letters. So thank you, Christine. I don't know if she's on here, but alrighty, good. I got a thumbs up. Oh, my brother has joined. Hi, Daniel. Looks like he's looking to improve his calligraphy skills. Alrighty. And he commented back. So you can see that some of my letters look different, right? This one has a nice, just kind of a basic thick downstroke, thin upstrokes. This second one, I made a little bit thicker, both ways. Third one, I made it pretty thin. So you really can vary. Sometimes, your letters will look identical. Sometimes they'll be different. So it's totally okay if you have some variability. Next, we're going to do the letter A, okay? So go ahead and just write your letter. And then you can follow along with me on doing the downstrokes, on shading those, okay? So when you write your A, you went up. Now we're going to go down. You can do the outside of the letter or the inside. I typically do the inside. Now our pen went back up, but then it came down to make the little loop at the end. And not the loop, the little tail. Okay? So let's do just write a couple of A's. Let me know if I'm going too fast or too slow. So there you can see my A's kind of look different. That's okay. I'll make this one a little different too. Make sure people can see my little rules too. I did put this, I did say on my story that I'm gonna, oh, I said this earlier, I am gonna try to put this on YouTube. I'm not sure if I'll start doing that. It could be kind of fun doing that, consistently, but just so then people can reference this, and I will share it to my story if you want to go back and watch it. So there's our A's. Really just kind of basic. The next one that we're going to do is we're going to practice our G's, okay? So a G is a little bit different. I mean, it's similar, but you've got a loop at the bottom. So you just have to keep in mind when your pen goes down and when your pen comes up, okay? So my pen goes up and then it comes down to make the top of the G. So I'm going to shade that. And then it comes down to make the first part of the loop. Okay, so there's the one G, and go ahead and do a few of those. You can use a piece of notebook paper if you want a line to kind of keep things even. You can use a piece of printer paper if you want to just kind of go for it freehand. It doesn't matter. Alrighty, I'll do one more. Actually, I'll do another one after this just to make it even. Now what's nice is, you know, sometimes, so I think that the circle to this G kind of looks a little flat on the left side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to thicken a little bit more on the outside and round it out a little bit. And then I kind of just adjust it. So you really can use the shading to kind of cover up some of your mistakes or things that you're just like, it doesn't look exactly how I wanted it to. I anticipated this class lasting about an hour, but I think it'll go a little bit longer than that just because I will have us go through most of the alphabet. I'm not going to teach you how to do like an X or I don't know. You really can apply all of these tips to any letter. So I'm confident that you'll be able to figure it out. But let's move on to a D. Okay, you can see me just fine. So when you write a cursive D, when I was taught, you know, it's just a normal kind of a loop when you write it. But I prefer to write them with a little bit wider of a loop, and that's just my personal preference. Oh, Liz wants to learn a Q. Alex needs to know an X for quarantine. Okay, Alex, I'll show you how to do the X. I will help you out. So this is just my personal preference of how I just write it. I tend to do little larger loops when I'm writing my letters versus smaller ones just because I like the style. So we're just going to shade on the first part of the circle of the D because it's the downstroke. And then everything else is an upstroke. So then we're going to come back down. And with a D, sometimes I vary which side I shade the loop, just based on how big I want the space in between the loop. Why did Liz say ouch? So again, just going on the downstrokes. And again, you really can vary it just to fit your style. Or if you want to try to just, you know, you want to imitate mine, I'm totally fine with that. Because I do know that as you practice more, everyone just kind of develops their own style and own look to it. Liz, you are killing me with your comments. Okay. For those who don't know me and don't know Liz, we're close friends, so it's fine. Alrighty. So there's the D.